Hey, what's up, y'all? And of course, welcome to another Alternative Factuals video. Now, I know it's been a little bit, not too long, but it's been a little bit. But I'm going to dive right into this with some, not necessarily secret information or anything like that, but some future information, things you're going to find out about this show coming up this week, actually. I think pretty much for this day. The video that is going to be released. Today's Sunday that I'm recording this, so Monday Black Lightning comes out and all that stuff and all that jazz. Yeah, so let's move forward from there. But before I dive into any details or anything of that nature, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're feeling. And without further ado, let's kind of just dive into this. Okay, so this is what we're going to be discussing. Now, it says online, the Book of Occupation, Chapter 3. This is basically Black Lightning Season 3, Episode 3, which is going to be airing tomorrow, or if you're watching this video the day of Monday, October 21st, 2019. So, this is basically where it says online. Remember, after a certain amount of time, the CW makes a lot of their, I guess, descriptions of these TV shows public when it comes to, what's going on for the first 4 episodes. The first 2 already came out, so usually 2 episodes in advance are usually out. So if there's if there's episodes 1 and 2, usually 3 or 4 are available, and then once 3 is actually officially publicly available on the TV show, then 4 and 5 will be available, and so on and so forth. Anyways, so the Book of Occupation Chapter 3, which is obviously Episode 3 of Season 3, the description that's publicly online, it says, when Lynn learns that Jefferson brokered a deal with Agent Odell without consulting her first, it means to put a strain on their relationship. Anissa and Grace have an emotional encounter. Okay, so let's kind of go through this first section. Now, when Lynn learns that Jefferson brokered a deal with Agent Odell. Now, we see in the trailer that you see Black Lightning in his new suit. You also know that Black Lightning has gained some new abilities, well, not necessarily new abilities, but mastered abilities, and his power level has also increased due to the experiments that they were doing to him while he was in the ASA's custody during this protective custody situation, however you want to call it. So remember, the first 2 episodes, he hasn't really been out on the street. It's mostly just been Anissa and Jennifer kind of operating and working with their Uncle Gamby to initiate these protocols to help Freeland in this situation during this ASA lockdown of in general. Now, obviously, we kind of can predict what this broker deal is, and that's just allowing Jefferson to leave the facility so that way he can go see his daughters, as well as basically he's going to be unofficially working for the ASA. That's pretty much a given in some way, shape, or form, where he's going to be Black Lightning. He's going to be dealing with a lot of the things that he deals with in Freeland, at least for the most part, or at least to some degree. But what we can expect going forward is that he's going to be working with the ASA a lot more closely. Remember, he's an asset to the ASA just like Lynn is. The reason why Black Lightning is an asset to the ASA is, one, he is one of the original green light babies. But when I mean green light, I'm not referring to the drug specifically, but the green light that was inside of the vaccines that were in the 1960s. He was a part of the original group of people who were exposed, and for the most part, he was relatively stable. His powers didn't cause any backlash in his body. The only time it would really do that if he didn't use his powers for long periods of time, and then all that energy in his body would hurt, just like Jennifer said, when she doesn't use her powers for a certain amount of time, it just causes a certain amount of pain. But ultimately, besides that, his powers were really stable. He didn't really have any meltdowns. His genetic coding wasn't decaying at an accelerated rate. If anything, he was pretty much efficient already as he was as Black Lightning, and even in his youth, he was extremely powerful. But he's a part of the original experiment, and then he's had 20 plus years with his powers. Most metahumans nowadays, when it comes to the Black Lightning universe, or where those metahumans come from, they don't have that level of experience with their powers. Even Agent Odell's right-hand man, who can copy anyone's abilities, I'm almost sure that he didn't have his powers as long as Black Lightning did, and even most of the people that Black Lightning has encountered did not have their powers as long as Black Lightning did. The only person who really had some sort of abilities of any sort was Tobias, and that was synthetic, and he wasn't necessarily technically a metahuman. He had to inject pretty much regularly or every once in a while in order for the medicine or the formula to keep taking hold, and for him to have super strength, and for him to slow his aging process. But in terms of legit metahumans, those who have powers much like Jefferson, he has the most experience. He had it since he was about like 10 years old, and he's like 40 something now. So he, in terms of using his powers, he has 30 plus years of experience. In terms of being a superhero, he has probably about like 20 plus years of experience. So in terms of an agent or somebody who can work for the ASA, he has a ton of experience using his powers, as well as he knows various forms, how to manipulate his powers, make force fields, use it as magnets. He can use it to heal himself. He himself has a healing factor. He has lightning vision, where he can see through objects, and now that we kind of got confirmation in the first episode that he can see through walls even without the suit. Basically whatever they did with his abilities while he was in ASA custody, they boosted his abilities, probably somehow gave him a completed version of the green light or whatever variant form, or they somehow just figured out a way to make his powers operate a lot more efficiently in his powers. And I think this is the season where we're going to see more of, Jennifer working closely with Jefferson, simply because he's going to be having access to a lot more power than what he's used to. And then Jennifer is going to be someone who's still kind of going through that, so they're going to be helping each other a little bit more. But overall, that is pretty much the deal. I think they're going to be brokered, where Black Lightning's going to be working a little bit more with the ASA a lot closer, allow him to roam through Freeland, kind of do what he does for the public view. But also when it comes to the Markovian missions and stuff like that, they're going to be like they're going to call him and let him know, like, okay, yes, this is what I need you to do. I need you to take these people out, or I need you to do this, and blah 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 blah. Now to the second part. Anissa and Grace have an emotional encounter. Now, in episode 2 of season 3 of Black Lightning, we already know that Anissa was continuously hunting for Grace still, because even though Anissa is still kind of doing her own thing, kind of hooking up with people here and there, it's fine, it's whatever, she still cares about Grace ultimately, she still wants her to be okay. And then after discovering or learning about Grace and her past and how mysterious it is, and how much of the lack of information she knows about Grace, she's been looking for her consistently. And then what we discovered on screen is that Grace has abilities that can cause her to shapeshift and have superhuman strength, and I think to some degree a healing factor. Now, Grace does exist in the comics. She was definitely a part of, I believe, I don't remember if it was the Young Justice team or the Outsiders, but she definitely did exist in the comic books, and she did have abilities as well. But I think her powers were a little closely related more towards I guess Amazons, but she was on the Outsiders and Birds of Prey. But for the most part, when it comes to her powers in the comics, when it comes to her Outsiders appearances in Birds of Prey, Grace Choi possesses metahuman levels of strength, heightened durability, and endurance, and she does have a regeneration and increased healing. When it comes to her character in the TV show, however, they took a different turn with her. Yes, she has a name that's associated with a DC Comics character that was, first initially introduced in Outsiders Volume 3, number 1 in August of 2003, but her powers are vastly different. She couldn't really shapeshift. She couldn't really do half the stuff that she was doing in the TV show and the comics, but she does have the superhuman strength and durability, and the healing factor and all that stuff. So that's basically what that is. She has a name by association, but the powers are a little different. But that's what we're basically going to be seeing for this episode. We're going to be seeing them trying to, I guess, I don't know if reconciling would be the right word, because they never really fell out. It was just Grace just disappeared because I guess she felt like her powers were becoming a little bit too out of control to keep a secret. And I'm pretty sure that means Anissa is going to tell Grace about her powers, so that way she wouldn't feel like, oh, I have to run or kind of avoid Anissa specifically, because at that point they'll have something in common, where Grace will find out that yes, she's Thunder. She has the ability to enhance or increase or decrease her her density, which makes her stronger, invulnerable and all that stuff. And then Grace basically will tell her like, oh, I have the ability to shapeshift and I have superhuman strength, blah 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 blah. So this is basically what this episode is going to be about. Like I said, this video is probably going to drop in the morning, so it gives you a few hours at least to kind of watch and listen to this video, see all the things that are going to happen, and see what happens in the episode as well for the same day. We can kind of correlate the two. But let me know what you think about this kind of breakdown of the information that we got about Black Lightning Season 3, Episode 3. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're feeling. And I hope to see you later on. Peace out.